Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Wednesday at 11:47 a.m., April 14th, and it is Coinbase Day. What does that mean? I don't know. It's the equities market. A company's going public. It has the narrative associated with crypto, but Coinbase going public really has nothing to do with the crypto space. And it's not directly related to any of the price action in the crypto space. Clearly, it's indirectly related because it's going public. It puts the ideology and the thoughts in people's minds that crypto is going mainstream. It always was mainstream. Nothing has changed whatsoever. The only difference is now more people are exposed to a narrative that we've held for all crypto eternity. The value prop for crypto, and just that's all it is. It's bringing the market to new persons that it was typically off their radar, and fits right into the narrative that the vast majority have no idea what the heck's going on. No, most people have no idea about crypto, the value prop, what it means. They see assets, they see price go up, sell high, make money. And that is not the way it works. That's why I'm doing Noah's office hours. You buy an asset, it goes up, you have no idea what to do with your money, and you're screwed anyway. So you got to know how to manage your money. That's the bottom line. Folks are like, I'm telling people to sell for stables into the biggest bull market in history. Yeah, it's the biggest bull market in history until it's not. And doesn't mean it's not going to go incredibly higher, but there is something to always be prepared for. It's something to always be prepared for is risk, and risk happens. I mean, look right now. There is a lot of pullback in the market. Here, let me get over to the main screen and I'll show you what I mean. Oop, let me do a sort the way I wanted to. Okay, so the title is Noah's Q&A, hot day, Coinbase listing. It's a Q&A today. I have no idea what the heck I want to talk about. I'm just swamped. I got some hot stuff going on Twitter. I'm interested in Ripple, XRPL, and XRP, and so I've been doing some tweets about that. Quite fascinating, and it's nice to get involved and talk about that topic from an actual rational perspective, not emotions and opinions and all that bullshit. Today's episode is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social goods. Stop depositing on exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto, non-custodial DeFi, or nothing at all. Bam! Let's pop it over to the main screen and see who's in the stream. Got Igor in the house, Argo Glass in the house, Wave, yes. Aaron, Captain Weber, yes, sir. Lewis, my man, Coinbase indicating open at 340. Yeah, I'm watching all the news as well. And when's it going to launch? I'm excited. I'm interested. And the sentiment, the emotions, the FOMO, and all that shit is all on fire. And that's why I want to talk about exactly what I popped up on the screen. Nas Boyer, noticed you checked ModeFi? ModeFi? You mean method finance? Yeah. So I could talk about that. I don't want to digress too much. I want to get back to this for a second. We can talk about method in a moment. J Nice Mint, Alejo's in the house. Looking forward to a one-on-one. I am online as much as I can. Quite often, like I go on at 8:30 and I'm on until like 10 o'clock, 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. Nobody joins. So unfortunately, time zone difference in the size of the world, it's probably going to make it a little difficult for folks to get in touch with me at times. Clearly, I'm not on office hours when I'm on the stream. Can't be on office hours when I'm doing work calls with various corporations. So I do the best I can, and I'll be on as much as I possibly can. Whenever I hear the radio host talk about crypto, it reminds me of how early we still are. They have no clue what they're even saying. Most people have no idea about equities markets and money management. Most people are completely out of the loop with regard to the financial management and responsibilities and self-fiduciary responsibilities. So anyone who's listening to me is light years ahead of the vast majority of people dealing with just equities. Yet alone crypto? You are so far ahead of the game. Every one of you that listens to me on a frequent basis, everyone that follows the stream, when it's not live, which is at least like 400 people a day. You are so far ahead of the game thinking about risk management. No, not Robinhood traders thinking about risk management and diversified portfolios and option straddles and dollar protectiveness and oh, goodness gracious. So it makes me happy that I'm able to help people do better. Mathis, not a fan of M Stable. M Stable's awesome sauce. M Stable's the hotness. It's part of the category is part of the category of I just can't own everything. I've had MTA and I've had IMUSD positions and it's hot on curve. So yeah, no, I'm not. I'm. It's not like I'm not a fan of much. I'm a fan of a huge amount of things, and M Stable is definitely one of them. Winter and trading in the house, Aaron Humble. Yeah, I provide consulting services to them as warranted. I don't talk to them much. They contact me when I am obviously in need. Um, and I am not privy to the inner workings of the organization, so I have no idea, nor do I endorse or advocate or say that it's an incredible speculative bet. I don't know much about the operations. So that is way outside of anything I have exposure to as with regard to our arrangement as a consultant. So I have that consulting arrangement, signed documents, so on and so forth. I've received zero compensation, and these are just pertinent statements of reality. That is the extent of the reality as well. Barry, did you be? Digi? Well, you guys know what I think about the Digi buy. It's going to get bullish around 18 cents. It's not bullish right now. It's just the bottom line looking at the technical data. James in the house, dropping in for a quick shout out to my boy Noah. James is in the house. My man. John McGuire, always a pleasure. Powder Monkey, yeah. Nice Boyer. I mean, Modify. Modify? I don't know. I follow 1,000,000,001 people on Twitter. What is this Modify? I follow them. I don't know what it is at this point. I follow a lot of people. I can't speak to it at this point. Just bought Rad costs $90 in gas. Yeah, man, gas. Listen, it's a very complicated topic. Obviously, if you have a large capital base, I throw around 150, $200 in transactions, and it's not something I blink at much. And I understand that the emotions that people feel when they hear me say that. But for instance, like you mint an NFT on Method Finance, it's like $200. Or you do transactions on Curve and you're like pulling capital out and putting capital in before they're said and done. You're talking about $400 to $800 transactions. Now I understand what that sentiment feels to people that have smaller portfolios. One, you can't do it. You can't interact with a platform that has gas costs like that. Two, that doesn't speak much towards problems with the platform. That's just the property of the platform. The platform doesn't have opinions or feelings or emotions. It's not alive. It's not sentient. That's the properties of the platform. One, the properties of the platform are going to change. They're going to evolve. It's a system. And right now, it's the Fifth Avenue. It's high class. It's Prada, Gucci, and Cartier, and all that. It's what it is. Now, Matic's hot. It's got 100 mil TVL on Aave. Matic is hot. BSC is obviously hot. Risks aside, you can do whatever you want on BSC. Can you get money in? Can you get money out? Is the bridge smooth and transparent? No. Do you have risks that they could shut down the validators to halt transactions in the case of a security breach and you can't get your capital out? Yes. Um, these are all true. Is there increased risk because are the real awesome sauce developers developing on Binance Smart Chain? I'd argue probably not. Most of that awesome next level tech is being developed on Ethereum, and you got a lot of forks and ripoffs going on BSC. And that's just general sentiment. It's anecdotal. It's not conclusive, and there's probably some original development. Clearly, Ellipsis has forked curve. They did it the right way, and they made legitimate, decent modifications to the platform. So there is um, work going on in the platform that has merit, and that's worthwhile. And clearly, the TVL is massive, and clearly, the monetary velocity is there. PancakeSwap is overwhelmed the flow of capital and quantity of transactions. So that's meaningful. It's all meaningful. And we should not have too much emotions when thinking about which platform is better. I don't give a shit which platform is better. I do have an interest in which platform is more decentralized, particularly because that contributes to the potential longevity and long term viability of the platform. Listen, China's is totalitarian. I was talking to the captain the other day about this, meaning it's not like the US or any other country on the planet. They want to close a company, the company closes. They want to capitalize a bank and save a particular debt position, it happens. They want to change their currency rate compared to the dollar. Yeah, they're fixing their pips. It's what they do and how it operates. If China wants to turn off Binance, they turn it off. Period. That's the truth. If so, and interestingly enough, Binance Smart Chain, they might not like it. And it's not up to you or me if we're happy or not about it, but they could turn it off if it's 21 validators. They locate the servers and they cut the power. They turn off the power to 10 blocks, city blocks, instead of just one building, and they just turn it off. And if there's residents in those 10 blocks, they get their power cut also. It's not their mode of operation. They do what they want, when they want, how they want. And that's just the reality of a totalitarian government. So those are risks. It doesn't mean it's not okay to play around with the platform, and there's quite a lot of work that has been done to development on the Binance side, and that has merit. And they probably don't have the worst intentions, or even bad intentions at all. But it doesn't matter. In the end, what matters is a system, its properties, its characteristics, and its attributes. And from my perspective as an educator, my content specifically, the risk profile. So assess your risk and behave accordingly. Anyway, that was a massive digression. Um, let's keep it going. Costco executive member in the house, Heirloom in the house, Star Buccaneer in the house. Brian Foote on CNBC today. I'm sure CNBC is crazy right now with the Coinbase listing. Gonzo boards, yes. Josh Mathis, DFO community. You don't know about it. Decentralized, flexible organizations. Cool. I mean, crazy stuff is going to come out of DAOs and decentralized organization. Any specific topics that have been interesting to you with XRPL? Man, the tech is cool, man. The biggest thing I like about XRPL is that it's non-incentivized validation. That's a big deal. Right now, the world of crypto operates on incentivized validation, and XRPL stands apart. Um, no, there's literally nothing interesting to me right now with regard to speculative awesomeness about XRPL adoption or XRP. XRP's price action is cool, and you can capitalize and make a fortune on it. That's about it. It's still in lawsuit. They filed for dismissal, and that's cool. I hope they get a dismissal. I mean, man, the price is just going to freaking go through the roof if there's a dismissal. Price going through the roof has nothing to do whatsoever with XRPL being adopted. I hope it does. I think it'll change a lot of countries, and a country adopting it is great. That's it. So, any specific interesting topic, it's just protocol that I like. And as I just said, look at the protocols and look at their properties. And it's not about opinion. It's nothing to do with that. It's a heck of a decentralized protocol. Anyone could start an XRPL validator without question. So that's cool. Whether it grows or not is another story. There's a large list of validators. Um, you know, that's it. I'm happy to talk about XRP at any given time. I'm in some regards, I'm more interested in Ripple, the company, and what they're doing, more so than the XRP asset and the XRPL ledger technology. So it's complicated, definitely complicated topic, and something I like to talk about. Hey, no, I just discovered Curve. Is it better to throw stablecoins on diff pools than just one? Just lock up some Curve for the boost. So Curve is a complicated topic. It is potentially the forex of the crypto space. I think it probably is arguably the forex of the crypto space. But it's a complicated platform to interact with because there's boost involved, which means you either get little incentivized returns or a boatload of incentivized returns. So it takes a lot of capital to be able to do that. You need a large CRV position to lock for VECRV. The more VECRV have, you're going to boost your incentivized returns on an LP position. Um, Food for thought. I capitalized Curve. I could show you. I don't mind anymore. It is what it is. So I got a bunch of capital. And, there's nuances to this, which I've discussed. This 154K is from borrowed money against my Bitcoin equity. A bunch of Ethereum. So I bought, this has been just going up in value. It's pretty awesome. And this is just cash. So this is my cash on the sidelines. I've been actually going risk on the last couple of days, and I have about 10% of my capital in stablecoins right now. But always put every asset to work. If you have an asset in your portfolio that's not earning interest, you're missing the real excitement of the crypto space. The crypto space allows you to be risk on, downside protected, and generating a revenue stream. That's the reality and the innovation of what's occurring in the crypto space. So if you're missing out on a revenue stream, if you're missing out on downside protection, you're missing out on 2/3 of the incredible reality of the crypto space. Clearly, the 1/3 is the fact that everything just goes up in value, predominantly because everything else is going down in value, as I show you guys with my M1 denominated charts. So this is very important, everyone. 1/3 of the awesomeness of the crypto space is just the price go up. Okay? So if you're not protecting your risk and managing your risk strategically, downside protection either via a dollar stabilized LP position or a X token. These are all Ethereum paired positions, all of them. Aave Ethereum paired position, KNC. These are all Ethereum paired positions. So these are Ethereum stabilized LP positions. So clearly, Ethereum is a volatile asset and doesn't have the downside protection of a dollar stabilized position, but it is still stabilized to some degree. Too often, the impermanent loss conversation has a negative overtone. It's imperative to have these pools that are balancing. As per the standard equation for AMMs. Was it anyway? But point being, as the price of XTK goes down, this is paired with Ethereum. If XTK depreciates 20% and Ethereum depreciates 0, for instance, your pool position will not depreciate 20%. And that's the whole point and the downside protection offered by pairing with an asset. Now, with a stable coin, XTK with USDC, if XTK goes down 20%, your LP position will probably go down about 7 to 10%. So you have downside protection. Obviously, since you're pairing with Ethereum, the potential is there for Ethereum to depreciate also. So that just increases the volatility of your downside protection potential. That's the deal. Let's keep it going. J. Nice-Mint, inefficient? You feel welcome to elaborate. I like efficiency, but I want to understand what you're meaning. Captain Weber, when no one mentions an asset via stream on Twitter, you buy that asset. You bought a money printer. How's Visor doing today? I don't know. Let's take a peek real quick. Here, let's look on CoinGecko so you guys can see. I want to talk about this screen that I had up, which is the bearish sort. Hey, 20% rip. You put 100 grand in there, you made 20 grand overnight. I would have put 100 grand in there. I have about 30 grand in there at this point. Bear in mind, it's paired with Ethereum because they're giving you 324% on a Visor Ethereum LP position on Uniswap. So everything I do, if I cannot pair it with Ethereum or USDC and generate a yield, I don't do it. It's not consistent with the goals of my portfolio. That's the bottom line. Stacking, my man. Powder Monkey says, for it to make sense, what size portfolio is needed for a curve platform position? Well, I would argue that even in a bullish market, you need a sizable portion of your portfolio allocated towards stable returns. It's only for you to decide. Only you can decide what size portfolio is warranted. If you're bullish on curve, lock 10% of your portfolio into VE curve, and that allows for the opportunity on the curve platform to be experienced. You know, you need a large curve position to realize the total upside. So of the incentivized emission. So if you go over to the Dow tab and you go to the Calc tab, here's the deal. This is the deal, boys and girls. So let's say 3-pool, the hottest pool, about 30-something% yield. Let's say you got an extra $10,000. You need 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, 55, 600. You need 3,600 curve to get the maximum boost, which means if you have $10,000, you need another $12,000 worth of curve in order to get 30-something% returns on your $10,000 position. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why curve is going up in price, because the big boys that are throwing around $1 million in curve have to buy a boatload of curve to get 30%, to make $300,000 a year on their $1 million principal provided to the LP position. This is why curve go up, boys and girls. They have a heck of a monetary policy, and these people are locked for 4 years. Like the average lock time for curve to VE curve is like 3.6 years, and it's removed from circulating supply. You can't access it. You can't move it. They have a heck of a locked CRV percentage ratio. Mrs. Hacker, you're very welcome. Oliver, but putting your money in those contracts is still risky to some extent. Yeah, that's why you have insurance. And you have an insurance protocol that incentivizes you to use it. In fact, you could literally create the insurance protocol, capitalize it, and the armor that you get for paying your policy coverage can be sold periodically to recapitalize your insurance protocol position. The amount of capital that you see what I'm saying. If you're getting 175% returns on your policy payments, you could literally sell this, recapitalize, and basically get a free insurance policy on the risk that you're talking about, Oliver, on these contracts. But if you're talking about curve and yearn, I don't see any risk. Bear in mind, I do insure it. In fact, I over-insure it. I insure it. So insurance is a wonderful way to manage and mitigate risks. White Wolf, hey Noah, do you keep your crypto in LLC for protection or business gain tax and so on and so forth? Yeah, I got an absolute mess with regard to taxation. So you guys, you guys see, I'll show you guys. Here's the complexity of money, and it's complicated. It's really damn complicated. So you guys see a boatload of money, and you see 20 grand a month. I got to come up with $150,000 to pay the IRS in October. This isn't my money. I'm not making any money. I'm literally every dollar I'm making from this is going to be given to the federal government in October. Now, obviously, it's a blessing that I was able to acquire and accumulate that quantity of principal, but none of this is my money. I literally have to cut a check to the government for 150 grand in October. That's my reality. So I'm making revenue streams on a variety of platforms, but I got a massive debt burden that I have to pay. So I am not currently in an LLC. I run these things through my personal social security number, and I got a freaking mess. So you're talking about like deductions. Now, deductions need to exceed the minimum deduction, and the minimum deduction for a family is like 22,500. I don't have enough expenses to make my tax return itemizable. I'm not able to come up with the 22,005 with the tax deductible expenses. Now, bear in mind, it's arguable. Why don't I spend more money to create tax deductions? Yeah, I wouldn't have this principle if I did that. So it's arguably better to pay taxes than it is to create tax deductions because that's really the only way to accumulate capital is ultimately to pay taxes. Barrick, hey Noah, just popping in quick and ask you a question we'll watch later. Can you explain how the vortex burn works? I don't fully understand all the nuances of the vortex burn, but from a very high level, it basically creates a deflationary pressure on VBNT. If VBNT is being reduced in circulating supply, there's less of it, which means the price will go up because less supply is being chased by equivalent, if not increasing demand. And the degeneracy of people to take on debt positions and create owed capital. If someone sells their VBNT or uses the VBNT to buy something, they're eventually going to have to reacquire it in the future to have access to any BNT that's put into an LP position. So personally, I'm going to hold the hell on to my VBNT because it's going to go up in value. In fact, I bought VBNT. Not a lot, but point being, if it's being burned, it's going to go up in value. That's just the way deflation or supply disruption or reduction in supply works with regard to inevitable repercussion on price action. Stackett says, yeah, with that much at stake to taxes, taking assets to wrap into an LP position might not be the best move, assuming you got into ETH at super low prices. Yeah, well, it's complicated. Taxes are a hot mess. You guys don't need to stare at my financials all this time. Stack can also be thankful you're in Florida. Oh my God, Florida is ridiculously awesome. There's no state income tax. I don't even file a state tax return. That's so cool. Miss Hacker, how do you determine a good pool position and curve? What makes you choose USDN over USDT? USDN pays 85% when we have max boost. So if you go over here to USD, you'll see 46%. This is one of my favorite pools because I think the GUSD asset is the most awesome stable coin, particularly because of the way Gemini created it. I could literally buy GUSD on 1inch exchange, send it to Gemini, and get it to my bank account in 2 days. GUSD is the most awesome on and off ramp for capital to a bank account, being that we don't really have great credit card options, in my opinion, for the crypto space, or debit card options, rather. Monolith, please come to the stateside across the pond. USDN pays 85%, USDP pays 88%, and a bunch of other interesting ones. I like Save, but you're going to need a massive amount of curve, the E curve, to be able to get this 46%, so I can't even apply value to it. Compound is one of my favorite pools, wherever it is, because it has nothing to do with tether, and you're going to get 5.61% on your principal with 30% on the incentivized yields, and it's DAI and USDC, which is really cool. Compound and Save are two of the most awesome assets or LP positions. Very lucrative, 40%, and this is on dollars, boys and girls, so that's your risk off. I'm about 10% risk off, boys and girls, and one of the craziest bull markets I'm feeling. The market just looks primed to rip across the board. That's the name of the game. What else? Let's go back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, and we'll wrap this up shortly. So if you take the 24-hour sort, let this load, and you sort the bearishness, someone buys in, brand new market participant buys in, and bam, Wink goes down 11%. They're screaming they lost 10% of their money in 15 minutes. So risk happens quick, and before you know it, you can't do anything about it. So this is the inexperience that'll trigger the buy high, sell low type of experience, and that's what we're capable of avoiding when you guys are learning from the methodology that I try and express. And this is why in the biggest bull market, I got 10% of the portfolio in dollar denomination. When I tell you this is not part of the portfolio. That 150 I got in three pool. That's not part of the portfolio because that's debt. I don't consider it. I don't quantify it. I owe it, but it's earning return. So it's contributing to my monthly income, which is not mine either because I got to accumulate all the capital I need for the Uncle Sam taxes. What a ridiculous reality. So risk off happens before you're prepared. So the time to prepare for risk off is when the market's hot. Because then when it goes risk off, you're like, oh, I did it right. So this is why quick picky to buy, quick to sell mentality is in play. I get a 10x on Visor, I get a 10x on XKT. You're gonna trim for cash. 10x on Method, this is going to be more than 10x potentially. This is 10x will put it in the same market cap advisor or XTK, about 20 mil if it goes 10x. But this is quite a different story. I don't know anything about the GitHub developer repos. I don't know anything about the team. But I mentioned to Lewis shortly ago the little hint that I get is that when you mint your NFT, they give you ample compensation. So I get maybe speculatively they're related to the Ampleforth team, and that's pretty cool. We don't know much about the roadmap. We understand what the NFT vaults are and how they're going to play into V3. It's basically like a vault. You jam your LP tokens, your NFT LP tokens into these NFT type positions, and these NFT type positions are able to manage your LP position strategically, automatically doing a variety of things that the, Uniswap is basically building out. And other platforms inevitably as well, using a token standard, an NFT management token standard that they've been talking about a lot lately. So this is quite the speculative bet. This is about 60%, 70% less of a position size than Visor or XDK. You know, Visor or XDK is like much larger position sizes. Lewis has been showing some nice data with regard to XDK, and I get a kick out of Visor's just hot. It's been appreciating, but there's little to nothing with Visor right now, just staking. And what's so hot about XTK is it's much more mature. These X assets are powerful assets, auto compounding DAO assets. So it already provides meaningful functionality, whereas Visor and Method don't provide any meaningful functionality thus far. So this is a much more developed platform providing automated APY compounding on top of Aave, Kyber, Synthetics, and 1inch. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Mrs. Hacker, makes sense. Thank you. I thought it would also have to do with gauge weight or something. Yeah, don't worry about the gauge weight too much. It's basically DAO voting. You're able to vote for the pool that you want to receive more weight, and it's just optional. It's expensive to vote, and most people don't, and they know that at the curve level. And it's hard to get people to participate in voting and so governance. Carlos, doesn't USDC have the same features on Coinbase where you can instantly swap for dollars? Possibly. I don't know. I'm banned from Coinbase. Do I know why? I don't know. Do I care? No. Okay, if that is the way it works with USDC, then USDC is awesome. Now, the two coins that I go for, stablecoins, are USDC and GUSD. GUSD is my fiat on and off ramp, and USDC because when you put USDC in Aave, you're getting real time display of the amount of capital you're earning. I don't have Aave up at the moment, but that's the way Aave displays USDC interest. Florida is also White Wolf. Coast Guard stationed me in St. Pete for 3 years. Brutal summer heat. Yeah, I can't argue with that. So I'm tempted to get like a misting system and big ass fans. Literally, like that's the brand name. Big ass fans. Google it. Big ass fans. And some sort of outdoor awesome setting for the backyard. Lewis Hayward sure does. Yep. All right. Let's wrap it up. Consider your risks. portion of the portfolio allocated to stables, earning yield. Everything in your portfolio should be generating a revenue stream. You want to be prepared for risk off when the market is hot, because when the market turns risk off, it's too late to go risk off. So look forward to the Coinbase listing. I'm going to keep my eye on the news. I just, you guys know I look at the M1 denominated charts. I don't really give a crap about dollar denominated pricing. And I just think all these markets are just going to go screaming higher. I think the equities markets have basically juiced back to 2009 at this point. Let's wrap it up. 43 people in the stream, 16 likes. We can do better. 12:22 p.m. on a Wednesday, April 14th. Thank you all for joining. Watch your risk, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.